Hi and welcome to another Microsoft 365 Message Center update video with me, Mark Stokes. Today we're going to be talking about a small random selection of updates, and we've covered the Teams updates already in a different video. So this is just going to round up all of the other apps and services. There's not too many here, so we're going to put them all into one video. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Okay, so the first update we have relates to OneDrive for Business and SharePoint, and it's titled Zip File Partial Downloads No Longer Available. And this is Message Center ID MC247658. So I apologize, I'm going to read this one. Starting in May 2021, it will no longer be possible to download individual files or subsets of files within Zip file previews in OneDrive and SharePoint on the web. Instead, Microsoft recommends downloading the entire zip file, extracting its contents, and using the files needed. In the past, Microsoft have received customer feedback that at times when a user selects a subset of files to download from within a zip file, the files are not downloaded successfully. So as they focus their investments on downloading the entire zip files, they're retiring all partial download features. I've got to be honest, I wasn't actually aware that you could download a partial zip file. I've always downloaded the whole zip file anyway, so I didn't even know you could do that before now. So this is going to happen early May 2021. So if you do have users who are used to downloading partial zip files, if you have big zip files, then maybe this is going to be a change to the way they interact with the service. You might want to just make people aware that this change is coming through. Okay, so the next update relates to the whole Microsoft Office 365 suite as the category it's in. This is Microsoft built on-prem graph connectors are now in public preview. This is Message Center MC248003. Again, I'm going to have to read this one. It's not my main area. So graph connectors for 4 highly popular data sources, Windows File Share, MS SQL, Oracle DB, and enterprise websites are released to all tenants under targeted release. You can now create connections to these data sources and get the benefit of many intelligent experiences using Microsoft Search. So these are available now for tenants in targeted release. So essentially what this means is you can use the graph service to access your on-prem data sources. So that's going to be really useful, I think. I haven't tried doing this myself, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. So if you are interested in using these connectors, Microsoft recommend you first create connections with test data and try different features. If you're satisfied, you can create connections to your production data. There is an email address in the Message Center ID, so if you do want to interact with the Graph team and talk about how you're using it, they are welcoming your feedback at the moment, so please do feel free to talk back to them. So that's something that will be available now if that's something that you want to use. Okay, this new update is a Power BI feature that's going to allow you to have a guided authoring experience for lists. This is Message Center MC248201. So essentially what this is going to do within SharePoint Lists is going to give you the ability to have a guided authoring experience in Power BI. So from a list, you'll be able to create a report directly from within Power BI, and then it will take you through the experience of reporting on that. So I'm just going to read some bits off this. Of how this works. So first of all, timing. So targeted release will roll out in early May, and then standard release will roll out from late May to early June. So this is going to come through in a few weeks' time. It's not there yet, but you can get ready if people want to start using it. I'm going to read some details. I might flash them on screen. There's a lot to go through here. But list users will see a new menu option in Integrate Power BI Visualize this list. That's on the list experience. Which will allow users to create a new Power BI report using that list. With just one click, you'll be able to auto-generate a basic report and customize the list columns that are shown in the report. And to take further advantage of Power BI's advanced data visualization capabilities, just go into edit mode. And once the report is saved and published, it will appear in the same submenu under the Integrate Power BI section. I really like this. I use Power BI quite a bit, and I think it's a really good way of visualizing your list data, especially if you have a lot of list items. It can be a really effective way. So everyone who struggles with the 5,000 item view, all that kind of stuff, Power BI is a really good way of actually getting around that and actually visualizing your whole data. So this is going to bring some great reporting capabilities to more people. Interesting on licensing, so we'll have a look. So users with a Microsoft 365 E5 license or a Power BI Pro license will have access to the full report, authoring and viewing experience. So there is going to be a license cost involved in this. I would love to see this capability come down to general users because I think it's so useful, but in a lot of cases it really does price this out in the market. But for people who do want that advanced authoring, then it's probably worth the license cost to be able to view that. Bear in mind, it's not just people who author those dashboards that need that license. Anyone who's going to view those dashboards also need that license level. So users without either of the above licenses will be prompted by Power BI to sign up for a 60-day free trial of Power BI Pro when they attempt to save a new report or edit or view an existing report, and to turn off self-service sign-up so the option for trial is not exposed to list users. There's a link in the message center ID which will take you to the admin portal. So users with a Power BI free license may only visualize their list data but cannot publish nor view reports. Okay. So the feature is default on, so people will see this. Now, you might find that some people without those license levels are going to see these links, going to prompt them to a 60-day trial. You may get to a point where people have that 60-day trial, they build something awesome, and then they lose access to it. So just prepare users that if they're not going to have a license for it, then they may want to ignore that. This could cause some confusion. It's a good little marketing employed by Microsoft, get people hooked in on using the service, and then when that 60-day trial is up, people have to go and buy a license. So I see why Microsoft's doing it this way, but you might decide that's not something you want in your organization. So you might want to prepare for this. You might want to talk to your users about it. They are going to see this option show up. So just prepare them what they may or may not be allowed to do in the short and long term. Okay, so this update is for SharePoint Online, and this is SharePoint Auto News Digest Updates. This is Message Center MC248207. So you may already know about and use SharePoint you may already know about and use a SharePoint Automatic News Digest, which is sent to users with the news that is relevant to them. But Microsoft are adding some new features to enhance the experience. I'm going to read these out so I don't get them wrong. But they're going to have the ability to brand your digest with your organization's theme, colors, and logo. And then they're going to include intelligent ranking so that users can see the news most relevant to them. And then enhanced design for easier consumption of news. And an upcoming feature, the update to the news digest will also reflect organization boosted news when this is available in your organization. You can follow the boost feature rollout with the roadmap ID 70606. This is one of the things that's going to be of interest. I'm kind of following these closely. AI is getting used very heavily to report this content out to users, but as internal communicators, are users seeing what you want them to see as well as what is deemed as relevant? Theoretically, anybody could go and post a news story in the business, and that could get included in these digests. So as content authors and content owners and internal communicators, you need to be really careful about who is publishing news, who is publishing content in your intranet, and what gets passed out to users. Sometimes you may want to make sure that only authoritative content is shared out. Therefore, you might want to use the boost features or have some other form of control in place for sharing that news. I see what Microsoft's doing. I like the approach they're going. I just need to make sure the AI works in the way that we want it to work, both for users personally, so they're getting content that is relevant to them, also communicators so people can see the stuff that we want to push to them, as well as what they want to consume. This next update is for Exchange Online, or more accurately, Outlook on the web, and this is going to bring a new calendar board view into Outlook on the web. I haven't seen this one before, so I'm quite interested in how this looks. I quite like the look of it. So the coming calendar board release will bring a new view to the calendar in Outlook on the web. In addition to the current views, users will soon be able to see a board view, which will provide an expanded view where they can manage workloads like calendar, tasks, goals, flagged emails, and files. Targeted release will begin rollout in mid-April and should be completed around late May. And then standard release will be rolling out in late May. It should be completed by late June. So I'll flash a little image up on the screen here so you can see it. I think it looks really interesting to me. So when this feature is rolled out, users will see a new option in the calendar views. Users will be able to select the board view of their calendar in Outlook on the web and create their own personal board with calendars, goals, files, task lists, and sticky notes, and manage them in one place. Microsoft's doing a lot around productivity at the minute, things like insights in Outlook, really trying to focus on how people are productive, how people manage their time and their tasks. So I quite like the way that this area is going. And I think this will be quite an interesting one. I'm certainly going to have a little play with this and see if I can get this to help me manage the multitude of tasks that come into me in a daily. Okay, this next update is for SharePoint Online. This is bringing a whole load of new site templates into the mix. This is Message Center MC249248. So the new SharePoint release of scenario-based site templates will help you expand what's possible with content pages and web parts, while helping you quickly get started building your own site. Each template contains pre-populated content and web parts that are fully customizable to meet the needs of your organization, and this is rolling out in SharePoint Online and mobile. Targeted release will be rolling out from late April to mid-May, and the standard release is going to be mid-May to late June. So going through, let's have a look at what some of the templates are. So we can apply a template to an existing site if we want to, or we can create new sites based on these templates. So I'm just go down. So the available scenario-based site templates. So under the communication site templates, we're going to have a department. So engage and connect viewers with department news and resources. Leadership connection. So build community by connecting leadership and team members. Learning Central. Showcase learning and training opportunities. New employee onboarding, so streamline and refine new hire onboarding processes. Showcase, so spotlight a product, event, or a team using visual content. A topic, engage viewers with informative content like news and announcements. And blank, so you can create your own site starting with a blank homepage. Team site templates are going to give us ability for event planning, so coordinate and plan event details with your team. Project management, so create a collaboration space for your project team. Training and courses, prepare course participants for learning opportunities. Training and development team, plan opportunities to grow, to help others learn and grow. Team collaboration, manage projects, share content, and stay connected with your team. For tips on improving and customizing your site, review the SharePoint Next Steps panel. So there'll be a panel that'll fly out to help you kind of take you through and customize those team experiences. Yeah, a whole bunch of other information in Measure Center there. So basically, we're getting a whole load of new site templates. This is quite an interesting one. It's good to see Microsoft expanding these out. Again, I'm going to be very interested to hear your feedback on these. Do these templates work for you, or are they too general that they don't tend to work for anybody? So please do let me know if you're using these templates in your business. If you're going to start using the new templates, or when we start using them, please do feedback to me. I really like to hear real world stories of how people are using these. So quite often templates are difficult because they can end up needing a lot of customization. So please do let me know experiences with this, and I'm sure Microsoft will carry on expanding out the bag of templates that are available going forward. This is OneDrive Sync Client 64-bit update for Windows. This is Measure Center MC 249393. So Microsoft are making a 64-bit version of the OneDrive Sync Client for Windows, and this will begin rollout in early April. So Microsoft will silently update user devices from the 32-bit version to the 64-bit version, and all functionality is the same as in the 32-bit version. Preview customers, users can download and install a 64-bit version of OneDrive now, and there is a link in the message center if you wish to do that, so you can go and have a preview of it. So as far as users are concerned, nothing will change. They won't see any differences, but being 64-bit, hopefully the memory and performance will be better of that application going forward. Just a note, the OneDrive 64-bit version is for AMD 64 devices. For ARM 64 devices, you should continue to use the 32-bit version of OneDrive. I assume it will intelligently update where appropriate and not get that wrong. Thank you very much for joining me today. That's all the updates we have across the Microsoft 365 service for this week, and I look forward to connecting back with you next week. Have a great one. Bye.